So here we are, Cumbria, weather warnings, shitloads of rain, but the urge for camping never disappears. So we're out, we've got the hammock, Dream Sparrow hammock. Should be a good night, we'll see. They're always half eaten. Must mean that most of these animals are running around with psilocybin inside them in some manner or form. They're high. As I say, when I pick a spot, obviously that's got a lot of debris. Now I don't know if that's just because it's a corner and it's gathered, or if that's just a weak tree, but we'll be staying away from there. Probably going to land over here a little bit. Now I use the DD 3x3 tarp. Whenever I'm camping, I kind of do the diagonal lay. I quite like that because it's quick, covers the end of the hammock. So I've got 11-foot hammock. So obviously the extra width stops the water from running down my guidelines, my whoopee sling, sorry. So with this you get a lot of options. You've got 5 along there, you get 5 along there, so you get 5 on each side, but then you've also got the centre. So what I've done here is, I was out camping one night and I got real bad storms and it just kept ripping my pegs out the ground. So as you can see, I've fitted some elastic shock, so it acts like a suspension whenever the wind pulls on it, and it just saves these from coming out in the middle of the night. So normally I'd have a different setup, but I've gone with these bungee strings today just because I know that these trees were going to be quite far apart and I wanted to be here. So I've gone with them because it's given me the extra stretch. Normally I'd have the guy lines coming off, but today we've just gone with them. So I've flipped this up now just so I can get the hammock in, and then later on we'll tidy it all up. But I'm going to get the hammock up before the rain sets in, get everything ready, and then we'll get some food on. what you want to try and do is have your feet higher than your head, and it gives you a far better lay, because if it's the opposite way you end up down the bottom of your hammock and all crunched up and it's not comfortable. So you want this, as you can see this side, this is my foot end. I only know that because I've got the XL peak at the other end, and that basically keeps me elevated so that if I do push down, it's not so much weight pushing me down. That is 11-foot hammock, like I say, it's far better lay. A lot of people, when they get into hammocks, they just sit normal and long ways, and like a banana sort of thing. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to push your legs to the left, say, and you go to the right, and it evens the whole layout. Now, the wider the hammock, mine's 11 foot, the more lay you're going to have lengthways. So I had the DD to start with, I've had the Chameleon, I've had Cave, I've had loads of cheap ones, I've had loads of pricey ones. I'm not saying that's the best, it's the best for me, it's what fits in with me, but 11 foot was the game changer. So I've got the snake skin on here, just makes it far easier to wrap up and undo. So yeah, I'll do a full review on this hammock another day. Tonight I just want to get food on and get settled by the fire. So the other stuff you need alongside your hammock, because you can't just sleep like that, because obviously your back's going to be compressed to the bottom and cold air will get you. It could be the warmest of days and the cold air will still get you at night. So what we have here is an underquilt. It attaches to the bottom. If you tent camp, then you'll have an inflatable blow up mattress, or you'll have something that's off the ground, and that creates that insulation. This basically does the same, but it hangs underneath your hammock. Gives you about that much underneath, and that retains the hot air, so your back's not against the coldness, and it makes a massive difference. The first time I ever got into a hammock, I bought a hammock, sorry, I didn't know what I was doing really, and I slept one night with it, and honestly the next day I ordered one of these. So this is the Snug Pack. There is better ones out there, there's worse ones out there. I'm quite happy with this. It's worked wonders for me, and it does keep me warm as well. So this is what it needs to. It's what I usually do. Just hook it straight up to my ridge line. The other end straight up to my ridge line. And I can adjust it by loosening or tightening these. And then once you're in it, like I say, there's a small little gap of air underneath there, and it retains all the heat in there, so the cold air doesn't hit the bottom of the hammock and get you. You can have a top quilt, which I don't bother with, although I did bring a wool blanket. The other option is your sleeping bag, but obviously you're going to have your sleeping bag anyway. So then all I do is I tie off the ends so that no air can get down into there. And that's basically the hammock all set up now. Now I'm using the Elite Softy 3. I did have the 4, but the weight wasn't worth the extra. Now I sleep pretty warm anyway, so this has worked wonders. But if you go onto Snug Pack again, I've got no affiliation with them whatsoever. If you go onto their website and have a look at the Elite Softy, it's actually used by Special Forces. It's got loads of technologies in it, but it's got a duffel bag, so you can actually extend it or bring it in closer if it gets colder. You can also bring the bottom in and hook it up to there so that you've got less leg room, which obviously keeps your feet warm. So that just goes straight in there. Now when I bought this hammock, I actually ordered it from America. It's from Dream Hammocks. I will do a proper review in it another day, but I'll just quickly go over the top cover. Now this cover I can completely take off. I'll just undo the other side so you can see that a bit. So I could take that completely off and then I'll just be left with the bottom part of the hammock. I do have a mosquito net that attaches like that does the whole way, or I can take the whole thing off if it's a lot hot weather, so there's many options there. I also have tie outs. I'll pull it out, but I'll go through all that another day. That's basically it. Now I have brought, obviously I do tent camp as well, I have brought my blow up mattress, self-inflating mat, although I've never actually used it in there, so tonight I'm going to give it a go. Alongside that, it's not something I usually do, carry both, but this spot's not too far away from the fan, so I've got away with it. So I'm just going to top tip, whenever you undo out, put it straight back in. Now this self-inflates, so what I do is do that, and in about a couple of minutes that'll be self-inflated. So I'm going to try that tonight. Now, like I say, you can either have the underquilt or you can have one of these mats. They notoriously move around while you're in there, so complete options up to you. And I have a self-inflate luxury pillow as well. So that's it, completely set up. And I'm now just going to go collect a load of firewood, get the fire started, get some food on before last light. Yeah, trees are closer together, so the tarp's actually very close to it, and so is the hammock. And I normally hang that on the tree next to it. It stops it getting wet because the tarp's over it. But if you do set up your hammock and you're quite far away, zip all your pockets up so you don't get any bugs and, if you're in America, snakes or spiders or whatever else that can climb in. 9 times out of 10, I'll just take my light off there. Continuous loops, absolutely brilliant. Go and Google continuous loops. If you use a hammock, they're absolutely, you can't beat them. So what I do is, most bags will have a rain cover on. Mine has one here. So all I do is put that over. Put that over there, and then I'll just hang it from the tree that I'm near. Now, a couple of tips that happen to me every single time I come out is your memory banks, your power banks, sorry. When they get cold, they will lose their power. Now that's fully charged. However, if that wasn't in here and it was out in the bare cold or in my pocket, that would probably last about 20 minutes before it sapped its energy. So always have these away in something thicker so that the cold can't get to them as easy. When you finish with them, put them back as well. I've no end of times woke up in the middle of the night with that just down the side because I fell asleep with it plugged in. Wake up in the morning, no charge. Another tip is with the continuous loops, again go on Google and search and you shall find. What I do is I put a light on here, just a simple torch, and then this attaches to the end of here. Now you could by all means put a red one that side and a white one this side so you know whereabouts you are, but there's no better than in the middle of the night just reaching up and just having that light when you need to get out and go toilet. Move it up and down, and it'll stay there wherever you want it. Now because I've got these whoopee slings, any water that does run down here runs off there as well. So here we have some onions, mushrooms, and I'm going to make a chickpea soup, which I've got a few chickpeas in here. Coffee, a pot for the morning, and a couple of beers for the night, a wine and an energy drink. Got the cooker and frying pan there, plenty of water, fire lighters, And I've got a firelighter kit in here. Firelighter kit there. Some gels, they're quite popular at the minute. Have some warm bottoms, not worse than cold socks, cold feet when you get in. And as you can see there, the hammock's now set up. So we are losing light. So now I'm going to go get a load of firewood. Important to set all this up first, because once it gets dark, it's a nightmare trying to find stuff in the dark. Got chickpea curry going on. Enough wood for tonight. Sound of the geese that are going to get shot if they carry on. A few beers down here. And we've got the perfect hammock set up over here. Life's good. Another successful trip, 8 hours sleep. And I'm just going to have this coffee, make a bit of breakfast, pack my things and head home. So until next time.